Hey. Welcome to the F1 Chat Pod, where we'll never have guests because we are uncensored.
You're still delayed, but maybe it's just this feed and it's not the actual recording. Here's hoping.
Well, we should just go look at the other feed then.
No, don't look at anything.
Yeah, I can
That's
do it
the
right
end.
now.
No, you've abused everything.
I haven't abused. I don't know what you're talking about.
Every time we start, it's like, hold on, let me check this other thing.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
That's not an apology when you apologize for how I feel.
Oh, I'm just sorry you
That's
feel that way.
passive aggressive. That's actually just aggressive. It's not passive, it's just aggression.
That's not aggressive. I'm sorry that you feel that way.
No, that's not an apology. That's an attack.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
No. An apology is, I'm sorry I did that to you.
I'm sorry.
Not, I'm
sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way. Is that helping?
What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what I think is our error with delayed or whatever. I don't even think it ever made it to the Facebook chat pod.
Nothing
page.
made it to the Facebook.
Oh,
right? Hello? Hi. Half day.
Oh,
Nothing.
half day. I don't understand this half day. I thought like
nothing made it. That's why we spent 20 minutes for nothing again for the second time in a row.
Let's talk about the Monaco Grand Prix. Basically,
it's a boring race,
just like our podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's just talk about real quick, JB. What do you know about Monaco right out of the gate? Just 3 things that you know about Monaco. Not necessarily the race, just anything. I just want to know what your level of intelligence is.
It's a street course.
Mm-hmm.
It's the shortest course. It's the only one that isn't the exact same length as everything else due to its historical significance.
That's right.
There's a tunnel in the circuit.
That's correct.
It has elevation changes and tight corners.
Yes.
There's no runoff.
Yep.
It's considered one of the most demanding, which is
Yes.
weird because when you watch it, it's like a procession. The average speeds on the track are relatively low, and it's dangerous. There's been lots of crashes, and there's been around, I couldn't tell, 4 to 6 deaths. And there's a lot of
glory
safety.
days. The glory days of Formula One.
Yeah, it was all prior to the 70s or 80s, I think. Mm-hmm. And there's lots of safety car. So, and plus there's lots of pit stops this time as they're trying to make it more interesting.
I don't understand it. I think when you watch the Monaco Grand Prix, you're watching a different type of F1 race, and you accept that race for what it offers. And yeah, it can feel like a procession, but I can assure you the feat that these drivers have with concentration, skill, threading the needle, lap after lap, corner after corner is incredible. Like if you just stop and think about that for a second, it makes every lap of that race exciting. And it's probably more exciting if you could get onto the onboards and just pick drivers you want to follow, which can you do that with the F1 subscription that you have?
You can, but F1, the app doesn't work on Samsung televisions, and it's probably Samsung's fault. The app doesn't exist, so you have to screen mirror from your phone. So then interacting with your phone to try and switch it to onboards through the drivers and getting it to mirror onto your television is a lot like podcasting with you.
So enjoyable.
It takes years off of your life.
Well, you look pretty young to me.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I'm sorry you're feeling at all.
The Monaco Formula One most tragic accident that shook the world of racing occurred in 1962 when Tony Brooks and Dan Gurney collided at the start of the race. This caused a chain reaction that led to a fiery pileup involving several other drivers, including Graham Hill and Phil Hill. I didn't know Graham had a brother. The crash claimed the life of German driver Wolfgang von Trips. And how many spectators do you think?
7.
15.
Oh,
15 dead spectators at a
it's
Formula One race.
yeah. Back then it was wild. And what was the name of that race car driver? Wolfgang von Tripp.
Wolfgang von Trips.
Now,
Great name.
that should be a rock band.
That should be an F1 driver, but
Oh
he's
my
dead.
God. It's like
He could have his own travel show.
Wolfgang, yeah, von Trips. Wolfgang von Trips. What a great name. And
Von
he's
Trips on trips.
it's just it writes itself. We'll pitch that and no one will take it.
Yeah.
So JB, I actually really look forward to the Monaco Grand Prix every year. I find it exhilarating to watch. I think it's so crazy. I drove the track when I got to visit Europe,
Yeah.
and
What kind of car were you in?
we were in a Mercedes. I think it was like one of those like weird, like you know how everyone kind of got on this train of like it's a sport utility vehicle, but it's not. It's somewhere in the middle. Those weird
Oh, yeah.
kind of,
I have one. They're called a crossover.
yeah, they're kind of ugly. Anyway, sorry Mercedes, and sorry anybody that's building SUVs, especially if you're like Porsche. Why is Porsche building an SUV?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't like them, but they've always positioned themselves as a family car manufacturer.
Porsche?
Yeah. I mean, that was the 2+2 seating they came out with. I mean, it was Dr. Porsche who invented the Volkswagen Bug. That was family.
Yeah, but that's Volkswagen. Porsche was always 2-seater sports cars for forever, was it not?
2+2.
Oh,
There's always 2 seats in the back for your kids.
hey, you know what? You learn things. And if there's anything I want people to take away from this podcast is you won't learn anything here.
So anyways, you were driving the circuit.
It was amazing.
Was it? Even with all the stoplights?
It was just so cool because you realize. So I was like looking at going, okay, how fast do they go around this corner?
Yeah.
And
so you were driving?
did I get to try? Yeah, I think I did. I can't remember now.
Who were you in the car with?
Because I think we did a couple laps. But here's the thing this is the thing that blew my mind is I was like, okay, they would do this circuit in this amount of time, whatever it was, 1.23 seconds or whatever it was, right? And I'd be like, oh, on this corner, they'd be doing 150 kilometers an hour. What are we doing right now? 40.
Yeah.
And you're just like, that's when I truly got an appreciation of why Monaco is an amazing racetrack, because the speed and the reaction and the precision that they have to have is so incredible. Like we couldn't do a corner. We wouldn't even make one corner in an F1 car. So to all those who think that they need to spruce up a F1 race with an extra pit stop, which is probably going to backfire. It's probably going to not work. It's not going to make the race any better. I have a feeling, and I've been hearing a few people talk about this. I feel like teams are going to strategize where they'll take one driver to back up any cars behind them to create space for the lead driver to get a pit stop. So I wouldn't be surprised if Max Verstappen wins the race, because Red Bull will do that in a heartbeat. Red Bull will go, all right, Yuki Tsunoda, you qualified 9th, slow everybody down so he gets a free pit stop. Lando and Oscar, that'll never happen because good old Zach Brown, who I really like, has just come out and said they are not wavering at all on fairness. Every driver gets equal opportunity.
I mean, they've said that before and they haven't meant it. So
they'll change their tune at the end of the season for sure.
We will see. They've said that, oh no, they're free to race, and it's been papaya rules all the way. But let's go back to Yuki Tsunoda. If he qualifies in 9th, he can only stop who's behind him. All the people that are a threat to Max will still be ahead of Yuki.
Potentially, yeah, but he still will be able to create an opportunity depending on when Max wants. I mean, ideally, it would go. You'd have qualifying where Max is on pole and Yuki's in second, and then Yuki slows everybody up. That's ideally what you would want. I think that makes
That for
sense.
this strategy,
Yeah.
this is when you need a Valtteri Bottas.
Mhm. You
He'd
need a
be perfect. But Yuki doesn't, I don't know, doesn't have the car or something. I mean, did you hear him talking about, I've been trying to run the car, set the car up differently than Max, and it's not working. So now I'm going to have him set it up just like Max's car. Like this isn't going well for him.
I don't Okay, again, I'm not a car engineer and I don't know anything, but it's pretty darn clear that that car is designed and suited to the nature of how Max Verstappen drives a car. That is so clearly the case. No one, they're like, oh, we don't build a car around one driver. They obviously do. It's just, there's no way every driver can walk. Like, how many drivers have gone into that car and not done well? It's
When they
amazing.
have a team of 1,000 and a factory, and they have 2 drivers in 2 sides of the garage, and everybody has their own racing engineer,
Yeah.
don't they each get a car designed to each driver?
No, no, no. There's a fundamental basis of the car that they design, and it has certain attributes, and then a driver refines that car for certain tracks and also for the driving style. So, like a good car is a McLaren. McLaren is a good car because Oscar and Lando basically are neck and neck all the time. And the
Yeah, but
difference,
Lando goes on and on about how he doesn't like driving that car.
well, it might not be ideally set up for him, but it's still a good car. Like he's like, because he might want a car to have whatever, more front end or more back end. And maybe it's too front endy for him. I don't know. I don't know what it is in that case. Jenson Button is the best example I can always think of. Same with Damon Hill, actually, but the best example of a certain type of F1 driver, if I'm going to get this right. Jenson, if you're listening, please correct me. Jenson Button was a very, very smooth driver. So he needed a car to operate within a certain window of efficiency. Jenson Button wasn't ragged with the car. He wouldn't throw it into a corner and bring the back end in and tidy it up. He gets a car dialed in, and then he's smooth all the time. He's consistent and smooth when he enters and exits and in the middle of the apex of the corner. Max, on the other hand, I believe likes a really fronty, pointy end. So he goes in hard, and if the back goes down, he reacts to it and keeps the back end in so the car doesn't spin out of control. So whenever Jenson Button drove in a car that didn't have a solid basis for setup, like just a solid, well-rounded, he was never very, very good.
Max treats his cars like he treats his friends.
Like Lando?
Yeah, rough.
Yeah.
Max likes it rough. God, what a pit of vipers over there. I wonder what's going to happen.
It's exciting. Again, being a Formula One fan, not just for the racing, because it doesn't look like Franco's doing very well so far. And I think he's probably going to qualify last. That'll be my prediction. And he'll
behind Liam.
Yep, I think he's going to qualify last. I think he might crash again.
Well, write it down. See if your predictions come true.
It's unfortunately there's no betting odds for that on betting sites where like you want to bet on a driver to crash. That would be great to be able to bet on that.
There must be.
Dylan, who you know, who likes to bet and gamble on sports and stuff, the site he has does not allow for it. So maybe that's what we should set up. We should set up a gambling site for F1 that involves crashes and controversy.
And death. What about a death pool?
I think Formula One is too safe for that. Knock on wood.
Well, not just Formula One, but let's open it up to when other people are going to die.
Oh, I see. Like it could be anybody, like a famous person.
Yeah, like who's really old who's really old that we haven't heard about in a while, and you think, hey, are they still alive?
Sean Connery?
No, he's dead.
Oh, Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, exactly.
He's alive? Dead?
He's alive. Yeah.
God, I loved
When
him
do you
in The
think he's
Shining.
gonna die?
When do I think he's gonna die? Well, it's gotta be any day now.
I mean, you'd have to look at the, what are those, charts that insurance people look at?
Oh, yeah, what a job.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think I'd like that, and then you'd have
really?
to take in his lifestyle, see if you could get some drone shots of his house, see what he's up to. It'd be so interesting, don't you think?
I guess. I mean, now you've got me going down that spiraling down the path of like, oh yeah, there's people that know and have a great sense of general life expectancy of individuals. So they make money based on a prediction of like, well, we can insure this many people. We'll probably only have to pay out this much.
Yeah,
Like that. Who is that
I
guy?
know,
What
right?
is that career like? Like,
Speaking of death, the last person to die at the Monaco Grand Prix, was, Italian driver Elio De Angelis, who lost control of his car, plunged into the barriers at the Portier corner, and he suffered severe head injuries and was in a coma for several days before succumbing to his injuries.
oh my,
1985.
you know what's crazy, JB? I remember that name from my very young age because I used to watch Formula One that long ago. I
Yeah,
remember that name, Elio
yeah,
De Angelis. Like, and he was, I think he drove a Lotus
did
and
he?
it was black. I think he did. Black and had a gold trim.
I loved the black and gold
Mm,
Lotus. They were so pretty. They kinda remind me of Benson& and Hedges or John Player's
yeah.
cigarettes from the '80s. Black and gold, so cool.
I find most Formula One design and look for quite some time now quite boring. Like, where's that look? Like, what a great look
Yeah,
that was.
yeah. I like the Mercedes. I think their color schemes, especially from overhead, look
Yeah.
really good. But, I didn't like the Haas with their, Japanese livery. I didn't like, I the, what's the it's not Sauber,
Well, it's
right?
they're
They've taken Stride Gum's graphic look, and
yeah, yeah.
they've put theirs on it, right? That's
Yeah,
Sauber, right? With the green?
for the pinnacle of motorsport, their graphic design, elements are quite poor. Like,
Red Bull's awful.
oh, well, it's also been the same for
Yeah,
whatever, 15
Racing
years.
Bull is better than Red Bull.
JB, I have a question for you. Do you support monarchies?
I do. I
What?
do, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, I don't know, would you call it arbitrary? One group of people are better than the rest of us. That's horseshit, and no one should be rewarded for that. But as a cautionary tale, as a news story that doesn't matter, as gossip, I love them because it's like always having a zoo wherever you go. If you're feeling bad, just Google the monarchy, and then you can just look at them and go, look at those animals. At least I'm not them. Like last night, the kids were telling me about With Love, Meghan, the new show from Meghan Markle on
Uh,
Netflix, because they watched it
mhm.
with their mom. And then
Oh.
I heard another podcast, and somebody was saying Megan's the new Martha Stewart. But
Oh, no, no.
my kids were making fun of it so much. And sure enough, I watched about 5 minutes, and I was like, she's not the new Martha Stewart. She's the new Gwyneth Paltrow. And it's just unwatchable. It's so cringeworthy that I don't know how she thinks this is going to help. People are going to hate her even more. Gwyneth is like rubbing her hands together in glee, in gloop.
In gl I, I don't that Meghan Markle thing, I don't really know much at all about.
It's terrible.
I don't know much about any of that. I don't follow the monarchy much at all.
Why did you
Um,
ask me?
just because there's a monarchy, in Monaco,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, well, if you check out the thumbnail for this episode, you'll see the Prince of Monaco's love child, and it's his eldest son too. So he stands to inherit a lot, even though his mother is a flight attendant, and the prince met her on a plane, and they banged in the like 20 years ago or whatever. And but to the prince's credit, he said, no, he's my son. I'll keep paying for everything, and he's going to inherit a piece. And he may not be able to inherit a title, but he'll get billions or whatever.
unbelievable. What a
Yeah,
story.
that's juicy, right?
I love your deep dives.
Well, it wasn't very deep. It's right there on the Wikipedia page. That's the extent of my research.
Well, I don't know what to think of Wikipedia. I heard that Wikipedia is like this site where anyone can just put anything up, and how does it get verified?
Well, you can, but the moderation happens a lot like Reddit does.
Oh, okay. So people weigh in and be like, "This isn't."
Yeah. Yeah, Reddit, and from what I understand, Reddit and I just listened to a podcast about Reddit, the founder, and Wikipedia. They're they're voluntary, but they adhere to a code of values or policies, and so that keeps them on the straight and narrow. And the community is self-governing, and that way, there's never a hidden agenda like you would get in something that was controlled by Elon, for instance.
Right. So in other words, there's so many people
Yeah,
that you can't.
yeah,
It doesn't matter. You can't convince everybody to do what you want them to do.
that's right. So you will get inconsistencies on Wikipedia, but on a Reddit, you'll get the voting up or the voting. Do you use Reddit?
Well, not really. No.
Oh, it's great. The voting up or the voting down means whatever gets voted up gets to the top and gets the views. So it's direct democracy, which doesn't always work. Wikipedia, you also have to have one of the great gatekeeping devices is it's the people that have the time to do it. So you get people that are passionate about that issue.
Right. But that doesn't mean they're necessarily right about what they're saying.
No,
Because
no, that's
here's an
true.
example.
That's true.
I was watching, a debate about AI and what the impacts of AI are going to be. And there's the person that's all for AI and he's optimistic and whatever. And then there's there's this type of person that studies like evolutionary science and technology. I don't know what, some crazy term. And he's like, look, yeah, it could be good, but history shows us that when we introduce something groundbreaking and shifting, there's all these negative results from it.
Right.
And so this person who knows so much about AI is just completely biased. From when I watch it, I feel like he's completely biased because he's just like, he's like a horse with race blinders.
Okay, well, let's look at the top 10 times Wikipedia got it wrong.
Probably not as much
Because
as we get it wrong.
Oh, this isn't a very good list. I didn't do any research. So they do get it wrong, but isn't it the thing that everybody uses?
I don't know. I usually go into Google, I type something in, and I click the sponsored one, the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just like, forget it.
Whatever this company wants me to believe, I'll do it. You're the best at growing herbs? Done. I'll buy you.
You're buying herbs?
I'm looking at buying herbs and growing them, and also growing sprouts in my house because I want high nutrient value greens.
Oh, that's good. And who got you onto this?
TikTok
Really? So you're on TikTok.
and Instagram.
And is TikTok good?
No,
No. And why are you on there? For a
just
comedy department?
all sorts of dumb reasons, JB. Come on.
Okay, this weekend, when we're watching the race and we're looking at all the corollary events around the race, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I prefer listening to people talk about sports rather than actually watching sports. You're going to see one of my favorite characters in Formula One, And one of the reasons why I watch Formula One is for the people is to because I love to hate people like Mohammed Ben Sulayem,
You
MBS.
really don't like him.
Well, I like to dislike him. Hate's a strong word. I've never met him.
Mm.
But I'm just fascinated that he refuses to meet with the drivers. He treats them like children, and yet he's right down there in the paddock, right down there at the awards. You see him in
Shakes hands, yeah.
his
When
homemade
someone wins, right?
haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
shakes hands. He's right in there in all the photos. He's up there on the dais where they get their awards.
Mhm.
He's in there for all the photos, and I want to know like what why is he who what kind of maniac does this? Who doesn't want to be liked? What do you think about that behavior?
I mean, that's a good question. Who doesn't? I don't know.
I always go back to like the powerful a-holes, Do they have friends? Does Donald Trump have friends? Has he ever had a friend? Does MBS have a friend, or are they just in it for the power?
Well, but no, they clearly have a friend. I mean, there's no doubt that they have friends. You can't function without having some sort of friendship. So I think that exists. But I don't understand how that organization with him is, he's in charge of the Fiat, right?
Yes, the FIA.
How they are not able to, because this has been going on for a long time, and the only time it didn't work copacetically, or sorry, the best time it worked was when Bernie was just the boss,
Right.
and Bernie Ecclestone just told everybody what to do and shut
So
up.
that's what MBS wants to do. Wants to be. Do you think?
I think he wants to. He has a bit of Bernie where he's like, no, I'm in charge of this, and this is what
Yeah.
the rules are going to be. Shut up, we're not talking about it.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
And so, do you think Formula One would work better if people just let MBS be the emperor of it?
No,
No. So there's a difference between him and Bernie.
I think Bernie.
Pardon me.
I think Bernie, also a guy who committed tax fraud from the United Kingdom,
Yeah.
and never went to jail for it.
Along with Gene Haas, although Gene went to jail for it.
Yeah, a lot of criminals in Formula One.
Oh, I live for it.
It's amazing.
These days,
And they never
especially
talk
with
about it.
technology and surveillance, gone are the days of criminals, except for, like, you don't hear about the mafia anymore in
Right.
Canada. You don't hear about, like, the catch me if you cans. There's none of those rogues and pirates getting away with stuff, except in Formula One.
Yeah,
They're a bunch of pirates, man, and they're still doing it, and I love it.
it's incredible. It's like what was it? Bill Burr. Do you like that? Do you like
I
him?
love him.
I love
So
him.
funny.
I love lately how he's been, laying into billionaires, a little bit, but also that he's like,
Yeah.
look, these are the evil people.
Yeah.
He's like, everyone hated jocks. Turns out the jocks weren't so bad.
Right.
Right. And it's kind of amazing. And you're right. I bet we should actually do a thorough investigation of Formula One team principals and people who back those to see where they're at, because Aramco, which I believe is a government-owned oil,
State run, yeah.
right?
They
Saudi
control
Arabia,
the oil in Saudi
right?
Arabia,
And
yeah.
Saudi Arabia, right? And I don't know if this is true or not, but don't journalists get killed in Saudi Arabia or something?
Well, yeah, Khashoggi, Daniel Pearl, I'm sure there's others.
Yeah.
And there'll be citizens of other countries, like those two were American, I believe.
So you could thread that needle that Aramco, that sponsorship, they're murderers.
Well,
it's a stretch, but
I mean, I think what you're saying is there's blood diamonds all over the place.
You can see how we'll never grow this podcast to the point where we're invited to a paddock.
No, which is a shame, because I'd love to go to the desert.
Yeah.
I would love that. See, so what I was getting at with MBS, with our MBS, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, is that he's not a pirate. He's not interesting like Flavio is. He's not He's not got some skeletons in the closet like
Well, you don't know.
Christian Horner or like the good Dr. Helmut. Well, what I'm saying is that he doesn't have an interesting Bernie Eccleston personality or sorry, who's the guy who just died? Jordan Racing.
Eddie Jordan.
He's not an Eddie Jordan. No one was an Eddie Jordan. You know, he's a flatliner and he's just in for the power. Like I want a little more personality if you're going to be such an asshole.
Right. Do you remember the TV show Succession?
Yeah.
I feel like if you were to take like the operations of a Formula One team and all that sort of stuff, and you could make a great drama about all that skullduggery and all these rich, powerful people maneuvering to get their way.
Oh, that's a
Like
good
that's a good
idea.
idea.
A Formula One Succession.
Like dynasty, but a good dynasty. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? Like it's a good idea.
I
Someone
can't
should do
wait to
that.
see that Formula One movie. Are you excited about that?
I'm totally excited, but I'm also keeping my expectations low.
I don't know. People are saying it's really good.
It's probably going to be too long,
Yeah, that's true.
right? It's going
The
to be
trailer was too long.
Yeah, like everything, everything's too long. Probably like our podcast, but whatever. Hey, just stick with the trends.
Yeah.
No,
It's probably going to have cringeworthy one-liners. I mean, I know
yeah,
they're in there. I've seen
yeah,
them. They put them in the trailer.
yeah.
But we can never pick a winner, you know? Like what we like or what I like is never what makes money.
Yeah, I would say being your friend for a long time, anything that you touch doesn't seem to
To turn us to shit. So you like the Monaco Grand Prix.
I love it.
Let's see what some of the drivers have said about the Monaco Grand Prix.
Can I just hop in real
See
quick?
if they no, you can't.
I can't. You sure?
See if they agree with you. Fernando Alonso has said that the Monaco GP is the most boring race ever.
Okay,
And
that's a
Lewis
lie.
Hamilton stated in 2022 that it isn't really racing.
That's a lie.
Well, would you say that to his face if he were here?
If Lewis Hamilton said the Monaco Grand Prix isn't real racing, I'd say that's not true. That is
He said
absolutely
it
not
isn't
true.
really racing. Just to
Isn't
be clear.
really racing.
Yeah.
It really is racing. Doesn't matter how you cut it. It's just a track where it's hard to pass. It's
But if it's a procession, really the race ends with the start. And that's why they're adding in pit stops and all sorts of.
Well, look, there's a lot of factors. We can't totally crap on the Monaco Grand Prix. First of all, F1 cars are way too big. They're massive. They should
Yeah.
make the cars smaller.
Yeah.
End of story. Make them more nimble.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't take up as much space on a racetrack. Number
Mhm.
one,
Mhm.
like like I can't believe how big they are. They're like it's something stupid. I think they're like almost 5 meters long or something, or maybe they are 5 meters long. That's ridiculous. So there's that. Number two is the aerodynamics and how efficient the cars are make passing harder. End of story.
The aerodynamics of it make passing harder?
Yeah, because the cars become so efficient that you can't, like the traditional method would be like a car punches a hole and you can get in the slipstream and then you can come out. But the cars are so aerodynamically dependent that any disruption doesn't allow you to get close enough.
Right. So there's less drafting.
Yeah, they should. This whole, I mean, again, I'm an idiot, but I'd be like, everyone's like, well, how do we create more passing in Formula One? I don't actually know, but there's three things I would do. One, tires should not last very long. Tires should, they should be designed to deteriorate.
Don't they already degrade like crazy?
No, they don't. Like you watch tomorrow, someone's going to pit after lap 1 or lap 2, and they will stay in the whole race till the very end. You watch. Oh, actually, they did that last year already, so they'll have to pit twice, I guess, because of the new rules, right? So there's that. But what if you just got get rid of the front wing, get rid of the rear wing, go back to the old days of Formula One when they didn't have that stuff and they were just tubes.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Let's see what that looks like.
Now, there's another race that I read about called the Monaco Classic or something. Is that when they drive old cars on the track? That might be more interesting.
I think so. And they also had tinier tires.
Yeah. And they weren't changing tires, were they?
I don't think so.
They were refueling probably.
Mhm.
They could bring back refueling. That'd be exciting.
They should definitely bring back refueling.
And smoking.
Mhm.
Just to
Gets
put those two together.
at least one person in the pit stop has to have a lit cigarette while doing something around the car while they're refueling.
Yes.
Just one person.
And every pit stop has a wet bar going.
Yeah, so one person has to change. One person is making a cocktail.
Yes. Now you're
Right.
talking.
See? We know how to manage Formula One.
That would be way more interesting. So, if we're going to make a Formula One succession style show, would it be a period piece? Would we put it in the past when things were
No.
more interesting?
No, I think you put it in the modern day. I think you put it
Why?
in the modern day because I think now there's I think the sport was truer racers back then.
Right. But there
They
were more personalities, arguably.
I don't know. I don't know because like the point is like I think in the 50s and 60s and probably the 70s too, like they were more like just um team owners that just wanted to race that were like, and I think it was more, I'm not saying it was necessarily people weren't trying to cheat or anything like that. I'm just saying like there was just a more truer sense of people that wanted to go racing. Formula One now feels as much about racing as it is about business and stealing someone's sponsorship and manipulation. And that's what I think, Formula One feels almost as much now as it is about who's the fastest and who makes the best car.
Maybe one way to make Monaco more interesting is take down some of the barriers, especially along the water, so that you could have more crashes like in 1955 and 65. Two drivers drove straight into the Mediterranean Sea. Both were able to escape their sinking cars and swam safely to shore. And here's the kicker: they were greeted by their mocking mechanics. That's really what you want,
Mocking
right? Yeah.
mechanics?
You want a bunch of men in rockets driving into the ocean, and then they survive it, and then their team makes fun of them for being bad drivers, for screwing up.
Oh my God, that's incredible. I didn't know that was true. It's amazing
That's
that they
what we want.
survived.
We don't want death, just a little more
Well, there are scuba
something.
divers. There are boats
Are
in the
there?
marina, yeah, and scuba
Waiting.
divers waiting to, if a car goes in, to hop in and get into action. But then I
That'd
keep
be a
thinking, like,
good
how
gig.
does an F1 driver, if they end up in the water, how do they get? They have the hands device, they have the seat belt, they have all this stuff they have to
Yeah.
take off to get out. They have
Yeah.
to pull the steering wheel out of the way.
Yeah.
I was watching a David Coulthard on the Torque Williams podcast with Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz floating in probably a €150,000 boat in the Monaco Bay and then putting around as they talked. And they literally talked a little bit about people going into the water. And Carlos Sainz and Alex Albon or Alexei Alboni were quite cavalier about that. Like not like putting up oh, it's good to know that there's some scuba divers in the water. I'll be okay when I end. Like I don't
Well,
think
yeah, because nobody ever goes in the drink anymore. Torque
it can,
Williams, is this Atlassian Williams Racing podcast?
correct.
Oh, that looks fun. See, I never watch podcasts. I wouldn't get anything done if I
No,
was
no, no. I
watching
don't
all the
necessarily
time.
watch them. I just put it on and then I do some work.
Well, that's cool. I'm going to watch that later. That looks fun. See, here's the other thing with these drivers. Even though I wouldn't deserve it, I'd be much more like Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen when it comes to all the extra stuff that happens around, like the driving in the Lego cars, like all these podcasts, I'd just be like, no, I can't. I can't keep talking about this shit over. I'm glad they do. But have you noticed, like, there's a few drivers that are completely over it. Fernando, where they're
Well,
just,
I mean, Fernando's 43 years. I love Fernando. He's got to go away. Just go away.
Yeah, he's gonna stick around for 2026. He feels like he's owed. He's paid his dues. He hasn't won a race since Y2K was the thing. He's got to stick around for
The
an
best
Adrian
would
Newey
be
car.
the best would be is if Adrian Newey designs a bullet, destroys everybody in 2026, and Fernando Alonso just has some bad luck and Lance Stroll wins the world championship. Like, I'm pretty sure Fernando Alonso would kill himself.
That would be so good.
I'm pretty sure.
Not if he would kill himself.
No,
He's
but I
got too
would know
much
it.
to live for.
No.
Speaking of
Don't get too far
pirates,
away.
he's
Don't get
speaking of pirates, he's probably worth half an episode, if not a full one.
Fernando Alonso is a complete pirate, and it's filled with skullduggery. He was all on board with the crash in Singapore so that he could win the race. Way back when him and Lewis Hamilton were teammates in McLaren, it was so competitive that he destroyed the opportunity for Lewis Hamilton to qualify in Hungary.
No way.
By staying in the pit. So when Lewis came in behind him, he just waited until there was no time to set a lap. And he went out and he was able to set a lap.
No
but
way.
Lewis didn't have enough time to get around and set a lap. Oh, just incredible stuff.
How do you sustain that sort of animosity with a teammate? Like, you'll just have to see them tomorrow, and
I don't know. Like
it's so awkward. Like, I understand it in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
I've made a life of saying sticking my foot in my mouth and then regretting it. But to premeditate, then to stick with it, and then just to have the aplomb to be like, yeah, I fucking did that in a Spanish accent.
Yeah. I mean,
cold as ice.
I probably get more worked up and say the wrong things and uneloquently express frustration and anger with unfairness.
Well, I mean, for one thing, you don't know how to speak English.
That's what I just say.
What a word salad that was.
Yeah, well, I want you to copy it. Write it down. We'll put on a T-shirt. We'll sell our first T-shirt. But like that sort of stuff, I'm like, come on. There's nothing about.
And yet you're thankful for it, because without it, it'd just be like every race, there's 30 laps in the middle where nothing really happens.
No, I'm not. No.
At least we got stuff to talk about that's juicy.
No.
And it's human nature, and we can relate to it. And yet we never have the balls to do it on such a big, grand scale.
I would suggest that if you started watching, if races were filled with more sportsmanship and a true sense of like here are the rules, let's respect them, that they would be better racing, and there'd be more passing, and I believe that to be true.
There wouldn't be more passing.
Yes, there would.
There'd be, oh no, I don't want to, I don't see I saw a gap, but I wasn't sure about it. I didn't want to break the rule.
The opposite is, if I don't make this pass perfect, I'm going to get driven off the road, a la a million race car drivers that just push the rules to the limit. Have you watched the Damon Hill podcast on high performance yet?
I listened to it. Yeah.
Okay. And he literally talked about racing craft and racing respect.
Yeah.
And when you watch, you want a fair duel. That's what you want. You don't want one guy to have to go into a boxing match with one arm behind his back. I want to see a fair fight. You don't want to see a hockey game where one team gets all the power plays.
But Lando puts his own hand behind his back.
Okay, we're not going to listen.
It's an unforced error, as we say in tennis. So Damon Hill and you can have your fantasy worlds all you want. That's why there's video games.
I will
take you down. In the real world, bitch, there's men and there's boys. Listen to me, the two actors talking about manliness.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever been in a fight other than maybe when I was in grade 2.
I've been in 2 fights, lost them both.
Yeah, I could see that.
I've got way more anger than I do actual
skill of expressing that anger physically.
Strength, hand-eye coordination. I'm angry. I was angry. I'm less angry now. I'm angry yet fearful all at the same time.
It's a perfect combination.
Look at this. Just don't touch the moneymaker, okay?
Yeah. How's that going?
Not good.
Yeah, tell me about it. I don't think I've had an audition for a month.
I don't even do it anymore.
It's just
I mean,
insane.
at least you're still in the game. I've just completely given up.
Like,
And let
well,
me
you
tell you,
shouldn't.
it feels so good.
Oh, I bet it does.
Yeah. And I'm acting more than ever because I'm making my own stuff. But
That's
that's a
good.
pain in the ass, too.
Well, again, if we're going to go back to like Formula One, it's amazing that people have the drive, whether you're an engineer or a pit stop crew or a
Let's look at, yeah,
CEO
yeah.
or a race car driver, the amount of work it
Can you
must take.
imagine what Liam Lawson thinks these days when he puts his big head down on that pillow? That right now his sheets are 300, 400 count,
Yeah.
thread count. But that dude's staring down the barrel of reinvention, and his his pubes just barely started curling, the poor fella.
I
But
mean,
now the pressure on him, he is fucked.
yeah.
I would never want to change, and yet he's in F1.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how good you think someone else has it. Life is full of suffering.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine being Liam Lawson right now.
No,
Maybe when we were talking about like mental fortitude last episode, I think he might have a lot of it because
you're right.
he
He may be, yeah, just showing up every day.
getting out of bed,
No
getting
one
into that
looks
car.
at Bortoletto. Nobody. He's learning. He's making some progress. It's fine.
Yeah.
He's being quietly improving back there.
Whereas
Liam
Liam
Lawson,
Lawson, yeah, he's under like everyone's like, well, he might get replaced. Look at this. He's not doing very good against Isaac Hadjar. I like that name.
Isaac Hadjar is a sweetheart, isn't he? To me, he's kind of got the personality and warmth like a George Russell,
Right.
and he's got that skill that sort of reminds you of, like, you put him in the same category as Kimmy, of
Mhm.
like you want him to succeed, and he's not a prick like Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
Everybody wants an Isaac Hadjar on their team.
It's true. It's funny, like when you think about it, right? Like it's true. Like Kimmy, you watch some, interviews, some whatever, some YouTube like mini docu series on this kid, and you're like, how do you not want him to win?
Yeah. Well, those are all paid for
Yeah,
docs, hey?
for sure. But I
Which is
mean,
such a I really enjoyed that one from Mercedes, but it's now that we're in the era of, I guess it's not nothing new, of a 45-minute commercial for Mercedes Petronas.
no, I mean that's how a lot of entertainment is going to be funded now. It's just
Yeah.
like it's just an ad.
What do we have
We have each other.
to sell? Fuck. I was hoping you wouldn't say that. Have you heard Zach Brown try and pronounce Kimmy's name?
No.
Oh my God. What's with Americans butchering the English language? Kimi. He kept saying Kimi. He said it so much I thought maybe it is Kimi. But it
I'm
can't be,
not
right?
going to judge that. Okay.
Why not?
Right? Because, hey, someone's following us on Twitch. Someone was watching.
No.
Yeah, it says
No.
Shaving Murmur 1ZC8VX.
It's a
Someone's actually,
bot.
you
It's a
think?
bot. They sent it there to make us feel less bad about
I
ourselves.
don't care if artificial intelligence or bots are listening to me. That is enough to make me feel good.
You're going to marry an AI
An
for your
AI
second
agent.
wife.
Oh my God. No, JB.
Can you
As
imagine
each day
having two
passes,
wives?
no, I don't want to imagine that.
Who the fuck wants
No,
two of them?
no,
People are
JB.
crazy.
Every day that goes by,
Yeah.
the more I sort of visualize being in a small Italian town, maybe on the island of Sardinia,
Yeah.
where not much is happening, and I'm going to go have a coffee, and I'll make
Yeah.
a simple dinner, and maybe I'll go for a hike, go down to the beach. Maybe there's a dog I can pet. Maybe there's a stray cat that becomes my friend. The more I think about that,
Yeah.
the more I'm like, why am I, what's taking me so long? Like, I think,
That sounds so nice. I would just take cooking classes. I would just cook. I
Yeah.
would grow vegetables in my garden, and it would be easy because the growing season happens all year long. There's probably
Yeah.
4 of them.
Yeah.
And then I'd be a raging alcoholic, obviously.
Well, I mean, not
Um,
necessarily.
no, with all that delicious wine around.
But I don't.
In Canada, like, it's easy not to drink a lot, at least for me, because it's so expensive, because the wine is shit. That's really it.
Yeah. I mean, again, it comes down to dollars most of the time, right?
Dollars and cents.
Right. So I actually think that you probably would drink more wine, yes, but I don't think you would drink as much as you think. I
I'd
think.
probably smoke too.
Oh no, that's bad.
It is. But God, it's so good. I
No.
miss those. Anyways, I'd also have a bicycle. I'd ride my bike. I'd go on Bumble there. I'd bang Italian broads. I think I'd learn how to swim better. not a great swimmer. I'd love to learn how to swim. I love a swimmer's body, you know?
Yeah, it's a good.
I'd love to be able to rock a really small
But you're past that. So
bathing
why even waste your time?
I don't know.
Like, why even
I'm
think
just
about that
saying
anymore?
stuff.
You know. So I'm going to make some predictions for the Monaco Grand Prix,
Oh, okay.
and I'm probably going to put money on it.
Okay.
So
And why?
why not?
Remember, you owe me hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I'll pay you sooner. I will. I just
But you're going to gamble with money first before you pay your friend. Okay.
if I win, I can pay you sooner.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. So I'm gonna put money on Charles Leclerc winning, and if I'm allowed, I'm gonna also put Charles Leclerc on the podium, and I'm gonna make. And I have to check the weather, but if the weather's bad,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put money because this is a long shot, but I'm gonna put money on Alex Albon.
Oh, I like it. I like Albon. I don't like Leclerc. I would put money on Leclerc losing.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you said last episode is right. He's emotional these days, and he hates that car. And nobody on that team is real happy.
Always drives good in Monaco, though. Always drives good.
Yeah, but he's also, except for once, always lost.
No,
He's always lost, except for once.
Well, you could say that about every driver.
I know. I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, you're great.
Yeah,
you should be proud of yourself, JB. Here's something that I want some. I like Oscar Piastri.
There's a hot take. Yeah,
but I kind of want him to get tangled up with somebody. Just
enter Carla Pinto, but they'll never get near each other.
I want Oscar and Max to connect. That's what I want the most.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I really want that to happen because I feel like if that happens, Oscar is cool as a cucumber, as they say.
Yeah.
I think he's going to say a few things, and I think that might undermine Max's confidence if there's an incident.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll light a bit of fury in Max, which then could potentially propel more collisions and more bad behavior. That's what I think. So that's what we need to have happen. Lando and Max colliding doesn't do anything. Everyone will be like, "Oh, there's Max being mean to his best friend, his only friend in Formula One."
There's no rain in the forecast, according to Steve Jobs, in Monaco.
Can we believe it?
No, but if you're into digital overlords, it's sunny, cloudy, beautiful temps in Monaco for the foreseeable. God, imagine being rich and just living in a place where it's 20, 25 degrees every single day, but the UV index is low. I mean, they've got it all over there. Wine doesn't hurt you. Everybody smokes.
Our podcast is just about us yearning for some other place. The key to happiness is being happy with what you got. And right now, JB, I'm happy having this conversation with you and having this opportunity to use the wonderful technology of Restream, and also using a laptop, headphones from Boss or Bose, I don't know, and also that I can afford glasses that look kind of cool.
Okay, that's a good gratitude list. I'm not gonna go with you there. I don't like doing that.
Okay.
But,
Well, I don't like your cardigan.
I didn't say I don't like you. I just said
Oh,
I'm not into gratitude right
felt
now.
like a personal attack, so I thought
Oh,
I'd.
no, no, no. You'll know when it's personal.
Okay. JB, are you going to make any predictions? Come on, that's part of the fun. You got to make a prediction.
I'm gonna have fun this weekend.
That's a good
I'm gonna
prediction.
predict that. Tonight, I'm gonna go to a birthday party, and
Who's?
then I'm gonna India. Do you know India?
Oh, I know the name. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the country.
Then yeah, it's the country, actually. I'm going to the country's birthday party,
There,
and then
there's
I'm
some
gonna go.
stuff happening over there, though, in India and
There's stuff.
Pakistan.
Oh, there's stuff happening.
What is?
When you have that many people, there's always gonna be and they all have nukes, there's
What's
gonna be
yeah?
stuff.
Like, what's with the world right now? Why is everywhere starting to like? Is this normal? Is this like this
It
normal
is normal.
society?
Yeah.
It just
No,
feels
it's
like everyone's
totally
like
normal.
poking fights everywhere.
Well, I mean, India and, Pakistan did this, like, 10 years ago.
Yeah,
They're like plate tectology over there, you
plate
know? There's
technology.
always plate tectology plate
You say my use of the English
plate
language is abhorrent?
tectonics. You
You
got
try
me there.
saying abhorrent.
You know, they're like earthquakes over there. Every 10 years,
Right.
there's gonna be a rumble. And, yeah, the natural state of things is a shit sandwich. This other than global heating, I can't argue that one away, but everything else is normal. That's what I think. We just have short memories. We think, "Oh, the sky is falling." Even that axiom, "The sky is falling."
Mhm.
It's because 'twas always thus. Human beings are always like, "This is the worst time ever."
'Tis not fair to say that the sky doth fall before the sky nay falls. Nay falling of sky.
We should
S
wrap it up.
You're probably right. I also have to pee, and, make some breakfast.
Yeah, what are
Uh,
you gonna have for breakfast?
Probably something quick and easy, just some toast, some carbs to increase the ring of fat underneath my belly button.
Okay, buddy. I'll
Uh,
send you some clips, and then
uh,
we'll never put them out.
no, the restream clip option seems pretty good. I watched both of them. It works.
Yeah. Yeah, those are good, right? So I'm
Yeah.
gonna post them on my Instagram. The problem is that I can't here we go with more of this. I can't log into Instagram on my computer, even though I'm on it on my phone. And it just keeps saying, "You have the wrong password." And I'm like, "It's the same fucking password as." So, it's the same old shit. I'm
Could you
not gonna.
imagine we're like Formula One engineers and we're trying to log in and
Yeah.
it's the race is gonna start
No, we're
and we
useless.
can't log in? We're like the idiot engineers that can't remember our passwords?
And this is why it's perfectly natural, but normally if we were productive human beings, we'd be almost at retirement age. And so we wouldn't have to remain relevant. We wouldn't have to remain trying to earn. But because of the decisions we've made in our lives, the wrong ones, we're still out here trying to figure out social media, for fuck's sake.
Hence the reason to get to Sardinia.
Now, why Sardinia? Does it have the low withholding tax that you talked about
Uh,
before?
yeah, but, never mind the low withholding tax. Just forget about all of that. It's still cheaper to be there.
Yeah.
Everything is just cheaper. So, like, just go.
Sardinia is an island, right? Forgive
Yeah,
me.
an Italian island, yeah, and it's apparently got one of the it's called the blue zone
It's a
where
blue zone,
yeah,
right? And it was below Corsica. Is that the
yeah,
French one?
yeah,
That's the French
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Okay, I can't live on an island.
Why?
I've done that. I've done that. Have I done that? I haven't done that. I visited them and I don't like it.
What is it but, like, what is it that you why do you need to like,
Well,
there's airports.
when you go to Vancouver Island, isn't
Yeah.
it weird?
No?
Island people are weird. No? Don't you feel hemmed in? I get claustrophobic when I'm in Manhattan. I can't fucking stand it. I get so tight.
Yeah, but remember, in Sardinia, you're gonna live in a village, a small town. Maybe it's by the ocean, maybe it's a little inland, that everything is going to slow down. Your life is going to consist of, I'm going to walk to the cafe. I'm going to walk to the grocery store. I'm going to talk to somebody in Italian. I won't understand half the thing they're saying, but it won't matter.
This doesn't sound great at all.
Sounds good. No.
Also, look at this. Like, is Sardinia hot?
Yeah, you're going to wear a hat.
Because I'm going to get, look at the size of this inlet. I'm going to get skin cancer.
That's a fjord.
Do you have skin cancer yet?
I hope not. I have some marks on me, which I should probably get checked.
Yeah, me too. All right, good. That was an hour. Let's end it on cancer.
Okay.
Bye-bye.